Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. On this channel, I like to showcase the automotive culture and the positive impact it has on the community. And if you're a car enthusiast, or you're like anything about cars, please be sure to hit the subscribe button for future videos. On today's video, I will be giving an overview of a recent road trip that we took. So we covered about 2,400 miles within a 4-day span. Today's purpose is to kind of give you guys some helpful tips if you're planning your own road trip, or if you're planning on going to the Tail of the Dragon from Minneapolis, from anywhere in the Midwest. I'll also explain some of the tools that I use to help kind of organize the route. So the first leg we knew was going to be the longest. But we wanted to get an early start. The driver in the white R8 had a great idea of printing out some funny stickers and posting it on everyone's car. It's kind of luck of the draw. The earlier you came, the better of a selection you had. So if you came late, you probably had some profane verbs that were on your car. And so we had a pretty good lineup. We had a Acura NSX, an Audi R8, a white 911, a GT3, had a Viper, we had a 911 with upgraded turbo, a Jaguar XFRS, and we had a BMW 1M. Now, if you were to guess which car broke down first, what would be your guess? I'll leave that later on into the video. So our first leg, we started from Mystic Lake Casino, and we drove all the way down to Goodlettsville, Nashville, Tennessee. Now, the first leg was pretty uneventful. We didn't have any drama. There was no pullovers or anything like that. It was pretty straightforward. We communicated very well. We all had walkie-talkies, so everybody was kind of in the know. All the gas stops, I scheduled it out to be about every 200 to 300 miles. All right, we're about 300 miles in. No real issues going on right now. We had our first gas stop to the 93 gas station finder that I used. That was pretty helpful. However, Wisconsin is terrible for having 93 octane, and we're also coming out of a pandemic. So the problem with that is that half of these gas stations that was on the 93 gas station map, they were closed. So, or they were changed ownership, or something happened. So that was probably the biggest difficulty within planning the whole entire road trip, was making sure that some of these places were still relevant and open. We have run into our first issue. The BMW 1M, it sounds like the clutch is going out. The first car to break down was the BMW. The 1M ended up burning its clutch. So we parked that at a destination, and on the way back, the owner got it towed back. Nonetheless, first day, we get down to Nashville. It's kind of a culture shock. I mean, this is still June of 2021, so we're kind of moving out of the pandemic. Vaccinations have started to roll out, but when we got to downtown Nashville, we went down to the honky tonk area. Nashville is obviously known for its live music, festivals, that sort of thing. But man, it was a culture shock. When we got there on a Thursday, the streets were just completely packed with people. It was so pre-pandemic. Our brains kind of weren't completely accustomed to it, so it was kind of weird and just a big culture shock, but refreshing to see nonetheless. No cops really were on the way. The things that we used to adhere to the posted speed limits, we used Waze, and everybody had basically a radar detector. But just those two things kind of, covered, I would say, maybe 90% or, 99% even of the police that we saw on the road, if they had their radar on. So yeah, we knew that the first day it was just going to be a lot of highway miles, and we just needed to book it down. We made it in good time. We were able to have dinner in Nashville, and we knew that the second and third day were going to be all of the driving days. Today's the day. Today is the day we're going to hit the tail. It must have rained last night, so it's raining. It's wet out right now. So the second day was going to be about 400 miles. We probably had about 8 hours total of driving. So we basically started from Nashville and worked our way east. We are gassed up and ready to go. I'll post, all of our routes that we took, so that if you guys wanted to do this route on your own, you definitely could. So starting from that area and we worked our way east. We went through and around the Smoky Mountains. Tail of the Dragon was obviously the highlight of the trip. All right, so we have officially made it to the entrance of the Dragon's Tail.
Well, most times you can't hear them talk, other times you can. Same old cliches, a woman or a man. You always see my number, you don't dare make a stay. I said, here I am on the road again. Here I am up on the stage. There I go, I'm playing the star here.
If you're in the tail, definitely stop by here. It was a Dragon Pit Inn, so this lunch spot was super, super good. Food was good. The servers were really nice. The atmosphere was really good. It's kind of like an outdoor, kind of like truck stop style of a lunch area. If you're going with a big group, I would suggest calling ahead of time and making a reservation for it. So yeah, so Tail of the Dragon happened.
Cavern tour or the cave tour, we're not going to do that any longer. Storms has a buddy who offered to extend the Tail of the Dragon section, so you're going to have more time driving. It's going to be about 4 hours and 52 minutes according to the map, so we'll be able to do it a little bit faster. Keep in mind that there are changing conditions with the weather, so drive accordingly. My understanding is that there are cops along the way, so you just don't want to go all out there.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
There are also motorcyclists coming to and from in case they end up crossing over the double yellow. You just have to be very, very careful. We will look for a gas point somewhere along the way. Make sure you communicate with us and let us know if you're running low. There is a GoPro on the back of Mung's car, so if you want to make sure you get in on the video, get behind him. But my understanding is it's a single lane road the whole way. There are little pullouts, but it'll be difficult for us to pass each other. So double solid yellows, absolutely do not pass, especially here. There's no opportunity to get around it safely.
I would pretty much just say probably let's not pass.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Zero, do not pass. So find out where you want to be in the pecking order, and then
I'll be bringing up the caboose too.
So Tail of the Dragon. Let's touch on the Tail of the Dragon a little bit. I will post some more specific videos on Tail of the Dragon, some tips and stuff like that for you guys or anybody who's going to the Tail of the Dragon. But I did get pulled over on the Tail of the Dragon. I did get a ticket. I will dive in more into that into a future video because I was actually recording for my channel, so I had a camera on the front and I also had a camera and a mic on the rear, and because the lanes are so narrow on the Tail of the Dragon, when you get pulled over, the police officer likely ask you to get out of the car just for safety measures, and he'll talk to you behind. So he was talking to me, and I got the whole recording on audio. So I'm not here to expose any police officers or anything like that. That guy was super, super cool. Very nice officer. I was speeding, and he's looking out for the safety of that area. I mean, it is one of the most dangerous roads in the United States. So I respect what he does, and I respect what he has to go through, because I'm sure there's a bunch of people with huge egos that go through there like, they own the road. So nonetheless, Tail of the Dragon did live up to its hype. I do want to say that, for me at least. And I think everybody else on the trip, we really enjoyed it. I think it would have probably been better if we did it a couple more times, just to kind of get a feel for the roads and stuff like that. But once you're in the tail, like, you're so zoned in, and your track mode kind of kicks on, and you're going through the grooves and through the roads and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a really good time. I thoroughly enjoyed the Tail of the Dragon. We meandered kind of through the Smoky Mountains, and then we ended up back in Knoxville. And Knoxville is another nice little city. However, unfortunately, one of the guys in the group, his car was vandalized. Luckily, nobody. It wasn't any permanent damage, but somebody. And I don't know why people do this, but it was the Audi R8, and somebody left a cigarette to burn out on his soft top. Luckily, there was no burn marks or anything like that, thankfully. But they also just immature stuff. Like they poured soda on the rear deck lid. I don't know if they realized, but the engine's in the rear, so all the syrup from the soda, dried up on the nice clean glass deck lid. They spit on the passenger side and on the windshield, I believe. Just don't be one of these people. There's obviously haters in this world and people who are envious and just not happy to see other people successful. Don't be one of those people. You'll be miserable the rest of your life. Enjoy others' success because that will bring you your own success. And use that as kind of motivation or inspiration rather than hatred. So day 3, we also had about 400 miles. We wanted to get to the Indianapolis Motor Raceway. A group of us wanted to make it to those tours. The thing with these tours, and a tip for you guys, and again, I'll make another specific video on the Speedway and tips and kind of tricks if you were ever to plan a trip out there. However, completely worth going. There's a ton of history in that facility. The museums are right. If you go to Indianapolis and if you're a car enthusiast, I think it's just a must do. But we enjoyed it. We did the Kiss the Brick tour. We skipped some of the events in the morning because they told us that the museum and the tours, you can't book any tours past 3:00. So we had to make up some time. So we just did a straight shot from Knoxville to Indianapolis. It worked out. So what ended up happening was we were supposed to get a behind the scenes tour. That was canceled. They had told me that a company had rented out the Raceway. Turns out that company was Ferrari, and they backed out last minute. Must be nice, I guess. We were able to get in there earlier than we expected. So we were able to do the tour. The Kiss the Brick tour was cool. I think the best part is just being on the track. And yeah, I mean, just, that raceway, the amount of people that it can fit is absolutely incredible. It's just a very historic raceway. If you guys don't know what the Indy 500 is, I'll leave the Wikipedia page in the description, but that's where the Indy 500 is held. I'm not a huge NASCAR guy or anything like that, but I can respect it. That was very cool to experience. Pretty smooth sailing, honestly. It didn't take us that long. I think we had one big lunch stop on that leg. But for the most part, Knoxville to Indianapolis was a piece of cake. Knocked it out. And then the last day we booked it from, it was 600 miles basically from Indianapolis to Minneapolis. Road Trippers was a huge benefit in planning out this whole trip because, as the name may say, you kind of schedule your or you input your start point and your end point, and you're able to see everything that's kind of in between. You're able to see specific highlights or specific points that you may want to stop at, depending on who you're with, if you're with your family, your friends, whatever the case may be. It gives you kind of a high-level overview of everything that's in your route. So one big thing that I would recommend is the Road Trippers app. I think there is a paid version, and you're able to input more stops in your road trip. But I've used this before with my family when we took out a big road trip out west. This was hands down probably the best tool that I used for planning this out. But yeah, I definitely would recommend this to anybody. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will be sure to reply to you guys. So thanks again for watching this video. Many, many more videos to come. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.